Hey Brandon, this is Keaton Everett from ABC, going over your pitching video from spring break camp. Um, just take a look here, and we're kind of going to break down just a few minor things. Overall, pretty solid mechanics, all right, especially for your age. Everything looks pretty consistent, all right. One thing we can kind of help in our consistency wise is pitching's all about repeatability of your mechanics, the ability to do the exact same thing every time, to break your hands at the same spot, to have follow the same arm path, to follow the same hip path, to follow this, land in the same spot. Everything is needs to be repeatable. So you're coming up set with your hands pretty high and you drop your arm pretty low. All right, a lot of guys teach and a lot of kids think that starting your hands up high and swinging them down create more arm speed and more velocity, but it really doesn't have anything to do with arm speed. It has to do with it has more to do with messing up timing, because you're going to have to travel a lot farther. You might start your hands here one time, you might start them here one time, here. There's just so much variation when you're doing that. So if you can come set in one solid place the whole time, and once that leg starts going down, then that's when you break your hands. All right. So just taking away any extra movement is going to help us get a little more efficient. All right. So that's just one quick easy fix. All right. Next, one thing I like is you're getting your hips involved. You're getting that pocket showing. What I would like to see is just a little more neutral hang with that leg. All right, we don't need to get in the habit of flexing up that knee. That just doesn't get it. It's just not a real natural position to get it. So just all you're doing is just thinking about lifting that knee up. All right, but you're getting in a good position. All right, one thing we're going to look at is posture. All right, we want to try to keep a straight, neutral spine position throughout the whole delivery until we get to foot strike, until we release the ball. All right, and what you're seeing here is you're dropping really far back. All right, your head's going almost backwards. All right, we don't want any backwards movement. Just like a sprinter. When a sprinter's up in the blocks, they don't rock back and then forward to go. They just go forward as their first movement. All right, so we need to have no movement backwards. Okay, and also what this is doing is that takes your spine from straight and that puts it at an angle. All right, so that's just not a real dynamic position to be, having that angle backwards. So we want to just make sure we're aware of keeping our posture, keeping up, staying tall, staying straight, all the way down the mound until we're releasing. All right, so at foot strike you are good. All right, we do like to see this, this angle. A lot of times kids will get out here, they'll let that upper body get ahead of them, so you're staying back, so that's good. But just keep that position the whole way instead of going from here to finishing there. All right, again, that doesn't give you any extra leverage or hip power generation or anything like that. All right, one thing that will help clean up your front side that we'll look at a little bit later is right here. You got this elbow locked out. All right, we don't ever want to have any kind of joints locked down at all. All right, all this is doing is this is getting locked out so early that it's just going to want to start leaking towards that first base side, and that's going to pull your shoulder open early, which we're going to see here. All right, so you get in this position and see how that front elbow's already rotating down. All right, as opposed to at foot strike, we'd want to see that elbow still out here. All right, we still want that elbow out over that knee, that glove out over that foot, and that back arm back here. All right, so we just want to keep that elbow out there a little bit farther, and keeping your, you almost want to think like from this position, you're lifting your elbow up, and you want to keep that glove below that elbow, instead of lifting that glove up and out. So just maybe more so think, just like a puppy, you got a string on that elbow, that glove's in a nice kind of neutral position. I'm not saying it has to be at a perfect angle, just a little bit of bend in that elbow where that glove stays below it, and that's going to get your body in a better position to stay closed through your motion a little longer. All right. So let's go back to foot strike and to release. All right, so you can just kind of see that left side leaking a little early and rotating with your hips. All right, hip shoulder separation is where we're getting our power. All right, taking a look at your shoulder and your hips, they're rotating forward at the same time. All right, what we want to see is your hip in this position and that back arm. All right, you had almost a 90-degree angle right here, and then that front glove out in that position. So we want to take, you know, almost that position with your upper body and match that with this position of your hip. So you just want to drive that right hip through the zone first, keeping those shoulders back, and then the shoulders come through and power through it. And that's something I see almost with every pitcher at your age, just because that's a big coordination, big strength movement. But it's something that if you are aware of at your age and you kind of work on, once that strength comes, then it's going to be a lot easier for you to do that. It also helps with taking less strain on your arm, and just puts you in a little more healthier position to throw the ball. So that's something that you need to work on too. And another thing that keeping that glove out there is going to do, all right, we want to see the glove out here. What that's going to do is that's going to pick you up another couple extra inches on that chest. It's going to get you to release the ball out a little bit farther and get a little more angle on it, instead of from here. You know, you might be able to get out something like out to here and release that ball another 6-8 inches with a little more angle on it. All right, that just gives you a little more. It gives you a little more extra velocity. You're driving the ball downhill, gives you more angle, gives you more movement, more bite on your breaking pitches, and it's just a better, more powerful position to be in. All right, so just really just focus on that hip shoulder separation. All right, a couple drills you can do is just to get your hips in this position. Start with your feet spread out. Start with that hip facing the person, or a partner with a glove and you got a towel, and you just start back in this position. So your upper body's still square to the third baseman, but those hips are through the zone, and you're just working on throwing from that position. You know, even throwing on your knees, both knees, you know, facing a guy, and just work on, you know, getting that torque, and, you know, getting that flexibility, and just kind of getting that coordination, those neurological adaptations in that lower trunk to work those hips first before that upper body, and that's going to help you out a lot. But other than that, overall pretty solid. Just getting that glove out there a little bit more, getting those hips involved, getting that right hip involved a little more, and you're going to be on your way to a pretty successful pitching career. So hopefully you're able to take something away from this video and make a couple changes and get a little better this year. And good luck on the year, and I hope you have a great season. Thanks again for making it out to camp this year. Hope you had a great time and learned a lot, and we look forward to seeing you with ABC again in the future.